Animal Crossing New Horizons was my first full experience with the series, and it's a great game that will always have a place in my heart as one of my favorites. It did so many new things, but with those additions, the game forgot what it truly means to be an Animal Crossing game, which understandably upset a lot of longtime fans of the series. And along with its poor handling by Nintendo, New Horizons is by far not a perfect game. So what does Animal Crossing need to do? Well, I believe it needs to go backwards to move forwards. The game needs to go back to its roots. Animal Crossing is about moving to a new place and becoming an integral part of its community, day by day, deciding how you want to live there, what you want to do there, interacting with the people of this town. You are merely a resident. You aren't an almighty god like in New Horizons. Just like life, things are out of your control. You cannot control everything. My first introduction to the series was actually New Leaf. Playing that game is what allowed me to discern whether I was into the game or not. But I wanted my first, full experience to be New Horizons, whatever the next Animal Crossing game was. So I didn't really play New Leaf how I played New Horizons, go on every day and all that. I just kind of played it quickly for like a week. I fast forwarded time and stuff. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. But even I, in that very short amount of time that I played New Leaf, even I can spot the differences between both games. And the big thing being is just that fundamentally, from the concept itself, New Horizons from the beginning is just not like the others. It is out of place because you're not moving to an already inhabited town and becoming a part of it. No, you are going to a deserted island. Nothing is here. It doesn't even feel like you're still a part of the Animal Crossing world, which is why the developers had to make certain decisions. They had to find ways and excuses to bring characters over to your island to try to bring the Animal Crossing world to you. And in most cases, it just meant that they weren't bringing over any characters, like certain mechanics that were in the older games. It just wasn't gonna happen. And they also were focusing all their attention on all the new shit like crafting and terraforming, all this sandboxy-esque mechanics that are in New Horizons. So from the get-go, it already feels like you're not a part of anything because you're not. You're building from the ground up, from scratch. There is nothing. So yes, fundamentally, it is a different kind of game, and it's okay to try new things. I'm down for it, but in a series that has already developed a meaning, you need to remember to keep what fans already loved, what the game was already about. You need to remember to keep that in this new game. A few months after New Horizons came out, I actually went back and revisited every single Animal Crossing because I wanted to see what the other ones were like. And I played the GameCube, Wild World, City Folk, and went back to New Leaf. And I can see immediately the difference in a lot of things, And there is still a hint of community in New Horizons. It just feels more like a chore. Like it's just kind of there. It doesn't feel like you're a part of anything because, again, right? You are the god. You are the god, and your villagers are your followers. The older games, New Leaf and beyond, just had a lot more charm. And New Horizons has its own charm, for sure. It's just different. It's a little awkward, almost, in certain ways. How everything is, almost perfect in New Horizons, where again, nothing's perfect. Everybody is imperfect, which means you are perfect because you're imperfect. And Animal Crossing always did a great job expressing that through its games, from my understanding. So what can this next game do? How can it go backwards and move forwards at the same time? New Horizons offers a lot of freedom and choice, and that's a good thing. It is a good thing, and once you give players that, you cannot just take it away. Like, it's not that easy. You can't just give it and then, oh, no, you know what? Yeah, you can do this in this game, but we're just gonna, not in this one. You cannot just take that away. So, how could they offer control, like almighty control like that, but also make it feel like life? Make life kicks you in the ass sometimes, bites you in the ass sometimes, you know? Well, first things first, it has to take place in a town. You need to bring everybody back to the Animal Crossing world. Have us be in an environment that feels alive, you know, with like maybe bring us back to the forest, like the first game does, where you live in the forest, you know, like bring us back there with the trees around, the birds flying, the wind, the villagers all out doing their own thing. Oh, but Vineo, that's all in New Horizons too. Yeah, but that's not what I mean. That's what I mean. Have a train that goes by, you know, have or cars, you know, if you want to do that, driving by, boats passing through by the dock, you know, like keep everything alive, you know, make it feel like you're a part of a world, a wild world. Bring back all those old characters, all the NPC characters, you know, have them open up shops on the island or do certain events on the island. I'm so used to saying that. In the town, or having certain events happen in the town. We cannot be on an island in the next game. We cannot. If they want to have a side thing where like you get an island that you can decorate however you want, awesome. Not saying you can't decorate the town. Of course you could. You gotta keep that. But then how, right? How do you have control and freedom, but no control at the same time? Well, I think New Leaf did this pretty well. And that is, in New Leaf, you are the mayor of the town. So you have control, but you're also a resident of the town. A brand new resident who got this job pushed onto you, which is funny. I think they did a great job balancing what you can do combined with what you can't do. So in this game, you should have a sort of role like that, whether you're like the director of residence or a mayor.
Oh, so first you're the self-proclaimed mayor of this town, and now you want to be the mayor of other towns?
Ricky, I'm just talking about what the player character could be, man.
I don't know. Sounds like a corrupt leader to me.
Whatever you say, my man. I'm so happy he's not in Animal Crossing, thank goodness. But we do need more of that in Animal Crossing, and I'll get to that later. But since we've already moved to a small town, what could the concept of this game be? I thought it'd be a great idea to have it be expansion. The town is very small at first when you first move there. Not a lot of people live there, but some people already live there. You know, they do the random villager thing, where like there's always random villagers living in the town already. You have some facilities like a shop and a clothing store and the post office, but it's very small. There could be more, and perhaps part of the story is Tom Nook wants to expand the town and asks for your help in advertising it and making it look nicer so that more people want to come live. Maybe donating money to expand, either by like an acre, they can have like be like a few acres or something, but you can choose to expand the land in any way, any direction, you know? And this leads the player to an ultimate goal of bettering the town. And in these new areas, you can choose, you know, where the new people live, or you gotta make room for certain new facilities like the museum or Brewster's Cafe, the Rooster Cafe, having its own building this time. Retail makes a return. Right? They bring back all this stuff. And maybe eventually your town can be big enough where it even has its own like little main street area. And that could be the customization. You know, you choose where to plant things and the paths and all that stuff. I think expansion would be a great way to incorporate this new idea. And hey, maybe for certain things, have a setting that you could turn off or on. Flowers decaying, right, has always been seen as like something of an inconvenience. So if you didn't water them in the past, they die, right? I enjoyed personally that the flowers don't just die like that in New Horizons, but what if you want that? Have settings there you can select whether, yes, your flowers die or they don't die. Then you still have choice, and people can choose either to have the convenient thing or the inconvenient thing. I don't know, maybe something like that. And now, a big part of Animal Crossing is its villagers. It's cute or really ugly villagers that are supposed to bring life to the towns. And in New Horizons, they are more like aesthetics. I love my girl Savannah, my boy Billy, Apollo, Phoebe, everybody, Audie I got on my island. But I've listened to the same dialogues over and over again. They really have nothing important to say and don't really do anything important, and are just always positive and always literally just the same. And honestly, it gets tiring. It gets tiring. I like them. I love them. But you know, they're like my little babies. But come on, do more. You know, I have a baby cousin, and she doesn't just have one emotion. She expresses so many different things. She fucking hits me sometimes. Like she, has attitude. She's got a personality. And a big thing about the villagers is they all have different personalities. Some of them have the same personality, obviously, but in New Horizons, they stripped all the uniqueness about them, Like, there were just so many more emotions they could have in the earlier games, especially the first Animal Crossing, where they would literally just call you ugly or fat for no fucking reason. I love it. I saw that when I first played the GameCube one. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And granted, they probably won't ever go that far again, but even in New Leaf, more shit went on, They had more to say about either what you were doing or what you added to the town or what could be done to the town or, like, it felt like they were a part of the community. We need to bring that back. And yes, villagers used to randomly move in and randomly move out. And I don't think in New Leaf you can tell them to stay. I don't believe so. I know before that you couldn't. And in this game, you can, and so you can keep villagers you like. And I do like that. I really like that. But I've also been really liking the random villagers popping in from the hotel. It adds something new to find. Like, oh, who am I gonna find on my island today? And if they can somehow have that, but also have it be RNG, it would be much better. Along with, of course, fixing up their dialogue and the personalities in general, and not making them so one-dimensional when it comes to their feelings and attitude, I will say a big problem with New Horizons is villager hunting. And I think that is what created this thing where, like, the villagers became objects more so than people. Like, oh, I'm hunting for this villager specifically, like, I never played the game that way. As it got later into the years, I'm like, okay, I want, like, this villager, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get them. But if I can't, I can't, because I wasn't, I can only spend so many miles tickets. I don't have a bunch, and I'm not gonna spend hours farming miles tickets. No, thank you. And eventually, I got all villagers I like, naturally, over the last 5 years. 6 years. Oh, 6 years. Crazy, oh my goodness. 6 years. So how can they fix this? Well, how about this? When somebody wants to move in, when your town is getting more popular, right? You, as the head of whatever, receive applications to move into the town. And you have to choose one villager out of, like, 3. So you get 3 different applications. Perhaps they're all the same personality, especially in, like, if it's scripted, because in the beginning, I know in every Animal Crossing game, they add, like, certain personalities, moving into your town, right? Like, so say, like, it's scripted so that a cranky villager moves in. Well, you got 3 cranky villagers to choose from, and they're all random. They're randomly picked, but you have to choose one of them. You cannot say no to all of them. You have to choose one. This would make it so that you have choice, but it's also random. I like that idea a lot. And then eventually, of course, it would just be random villagers of all different types of personalities. But the villagers being pretty much dead, brain dead, in New Horizons is a big problem. Because, like, it's eventually gonna get old. Like, Billy, I love him. He's talked about him naming his abs since day one of me playing the game. And he says the same line still. So it's just like every day almost. And it's just like, okay. Every time I play, you're talking about Abdul and all this shit. I'm just like, thank you, Billy. That's wonderful. You've told me 5 million times, you know? And then, like, I remember I had this bitch Tammy as one of my first fucking villagers, and she would cause problems with Savannah all the damn time. Savannah would get mad and upset, and so would she, and then, like, yeah, it was Tammy's fault. But the thing is, I haven't seen that. Like, I don't know if they patched something to stop, like, fighting from happening between the villagers, but yeah, I haven't seen fighting like that happen with any of my villagers anymore. So either they all just get along and Tammy was just a fucking bitch, or or they changed something. I want to see that more. I want to see they have problems with each other. I want to see them have problems with me. Villagers used to have a lot more depth than they do now, and that needs to come back. Animal Crossing needs to go back to its roots. It desperately needs to do it. We cannot have a New Horizons 2.0. We can't, and I think the developers know it. I have a feeling they know it, and I hope they know it. I love New Horizons so much. I had so much fun with it. It really helped me over the years. Helped me get through my own dark times, and it's a great game. But it is very much different from the other games in the series, and I've said it before, I'm not a designer. I enjoy the Animal Crossing stuff. That was more lacking in this game. So I hope that the next game brings back what it truly means to be Animal Crossing. It truly represents. They take everything they learned and added in New Horizons, take everything they had in the older games, mesh them together, and create something fantastic. I really hope they do, and I think they can do it. I believe they can. And it will be coming soon. Very soon. That's why they updated New Horizons. It's coming very soon. Very sooner than you think. I'm telling you guys. But yeah, you know, I understand how those Animal Crossing fans feel, because I feel the same way with Pokemon. How it just doesn't, the new games just don't feel like the older ones. They just don't represent what Pokemon is. And to the longtime fans, New Horizons doesn't represent what Animal Crossing is. And I see it. I very much see it. Sometimes in life, we need to take a step back to see the full picture, to look at everything in order to truly pinpoint what we need to do to move forwards. And I believe this is exactly what Animal Crossing needs to do. I'm very much looking forward to see what they do with the next one. So Nintendo, don't let me down. Don't let me down like Pokemon's been doing.